Hey guys, it's Magic again. Just here to check in. I know it's been a while. I've been dealing with a lot of family things and stress in my life. Recently, found out that stress and dehydration combined can send your body into a state of shock. So, dealing with some issues there. Trying to get back to where I need to be health wise. So it's kind of going to be a little bit sporadic while I try to get everything in order, both in my life and health. All right. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was faith. See, a lot of people don't understand faith because it's like, well, how can you have faith in something that isn't really there? Or like, I don't know. I think with faith, you have to understand that there is always some doubt. Like, I don't think it's healthy to have like unquestionable faith in something. Like, because if you can't question it, you can't really test it. But at the same point, I believe it's important that we question everything. Question what we believe, question why we believe it. Because if we're not questioning anymore, then we won't keep growing. But what faith is supposed to be, it's supposed to be when you're absolutely certain. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have some doubt somewhere in the back of your mind. It just means that you're certain about this thing and that the doubts, despite them being there, do not affect that. It's like you still have faith and you are still certain. It's just despite the doubts and in spite of them. There is one thing that we all have faith in, not talking religion here, but what we tend to have the most faith in is what we cannot do. If we think we can't do something, we are 100% certain that we cannot do that thing, which is why we don't do that thing. So instead of doing the thing that we want to do, because we're so certain that we can't, we stay with what was familiar to us and we make excuses to not step outside of the box that we've put ourselves in, or that other people have put us in, or that the beliefs that we've bought into have put us in. And so we stay stuck and we just get upset and resentful because other people are doing the thing. We want to do the thing, but we've told ourselves the lie so much that we can't, that we won't. And instead of actually giving it a try, we just stay stuck. That's no way to live. It's way too much negative energy. We need to have more positive in our life and believe in ourselves. I mean, when we see other people achieving the things that we want, but we're too scared to try, or we've convinced ourselves that we can't do, or we've bought into some lie somebody's told us in the past about the thing, then we get too scared to go after it, and we tell ourselves that we can't and make up excuses for why we can't, like we're not built that way, or that's not for me, or I fail at everything, or just whatever comes into our mind. But that is why those people that are succeeding at it are so much better than you, because they don't make the excuses. But at the same time, that's another excuse that we use. Oh, well, they're just better than me at this. They're just better than me because XYZ. But all the difference is that they've gotten out of the box. They've stopped believing the lie. I know that sometimes, like, when it comes to health things, we're like, oh, well, my family's not like that, or we weren't born that way, things like that. That's a common excuse. But no one is born extremely good at something. Everyone has to work to get better. If it's not hard, then it's not really worth doing. We need to. It's not like you came out and was like instantly able to walk. You weren't great at walking, but you are now. So, but you weren't at first. You sucked at it at first. So, that's the same thing with anything else in your life. Just gotta work at it. You just gotta keep trying. You know you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble a little bit like you did when you were first learning to walk, but eventually you will get there. It's like Same thing with riding a bike. No one was born knowing how to ride a bike, yet almost everyone can do it. But you had to work to get there. You fell off a few times, you got scraped up, but you got back up and you got back on. Now, I personally can't ride a bike, which is why I prefer to think about it like walking. But, whichever one works for you. Everyone's learning and growing every day. Who you are today does not necessarily mean who you have to be tomorrow. Every moment is a chance for you to try again. So just because you messed up in this moment doesn't necessarily mean that you messed up for the day or for the week or forever. Like, as a mom, I have a 5-year-old. Sometimes, like, I've been working on, better parenting techniques, like acknowledging his feelings, trying to get him to cooperate with me through playing, descriptive praise, having more conversations, trying to join him in his world, things like that. Oh, and expressing my feelings to him strongly so he understands, but not in a mean way, more like, hey, I don't like that. But sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I get angry and I accidentally revert back to bad habits, like parents tend to do when they get stressed. But him and I have a method now. Once him and I both calm down, whenever it gets like that, I let him know, hey, mom's upset. She needs a minute. Usually the reaction's already happened, but I recognize that I'm upset, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm upset. We'll try again in a little bit. When we both have calmed down, or I will go out and let him know that, hey, I was upset earlier, but I'm not upset now. When you don't feel upset anymore and you want to talk, we can talk. And then what he does is whenever he's ready to talk, there's a spot on the wall that he likes to run up and hit, and it's our reset button. And he'll come over and he'll sit with me and we'll talk about his feelings and what the problem was and how we can fix it and prepare it for in the future. Now, and every day it gets a little better. Every day I get a little less stressed out and a little more able to just respond the way I'm supposed to over, the instant reaction that we all have. But that wouldn't be possible if I wasn't willing to try to reset or restart. If I wasn't willing to, if it was like, oh, well, I've already messed up today, so I might as well just stay with the flow. But I recognize that, yes, I messed up, but that doesn't mean that I have to do it next time. Next time, we can do better. But first we have to fix what happened that was wrong. So when we fix the problem, and then the next time it's better. And we keep learning and growing. It's a process. He's learning how to deal with his emotions. I'm learning how to deal with his emotions. We're both learning how to deal with each other and ourselves. Learning to deal with yourself and other people is a constant process. And as a parent, with your child ever changing, it's never going to stop. Because every time I think I get to know him, he changes. He's getting older and older every day. Every experience, though, is a chance to start over and be new. You can choose to be different the next time. And for a large part, we do pretty well with that. So you can make the decision to change today. Just change. Decide today that you want to be different and make it happen. You are who you decide to be today, not who someone else tells you have to be or who someone else thinks you should be or decided that you should be forever ago, like in the 2nd grade. You are who you choose to be today. Make the conscious effort to be the person that you want to be today. Think about yourself 10 years down the road. Who do you want to be? Who's your ideal version of yourself? What do you see yourself doing, acting, saying, whether it's in career or financially or with your children or just personally, and work towards that. Take baby steps toward that every day. That's all we can do. Just move towards it. Choose to be that person. Choose to take the steps, and you'll get there. If you're not sure where you're going, if you don't, the reason why I think it's good that you think about where you want to be and who you want to be, because if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up in places that you never wanted to go. That's just the reality of life. If we don't know where we're going, then we'll end up somewhere, but may not be where we want. Which is why a lot of people end up in bad situations or in lives that they hate, or in some people's cases, they end up just getting to the end of their life and just being full of regret and resentment because they never had a plan, they never had a goal, or they let other people influence that and change that and send them down paths that they didn't want to go because they were so unsure of themselves that they let other people take control of their lives. You need to be in control of your life because at the end of the line, you're the one that's got the regrets. You're the one that's going to feel the impact of the choices that were made. So you need to choose now what you want to do, who you want to be. Who will you be proud of when you get to the end of the line? And be that person. So we need to be working towards something. We need to be working towards a goal. I have a goals board over there. It has my big goals that I'm trying to achieve in my life. It has some steps that each goal is attached to a sticky note or some type of index card. And it's a step I need to take to get to the person I want to be, and then underneath each one I have 3 steps that have to happen for me to get there, and I work a little bit towards them every day that I can. And every day I keep trying. I try to do at least one of the things a day, or take a baby step towards it at least once a day. Remember though, if you don't steer your life, if you don't take control of the car, then someone else will do it for you. And you'll end up wherever they want you to go instead of where you wanted to go. And then you'll just have a list of regrets because that wasn't what you wanted. It's what they wanted. So live for yourself. Make yourself happy first. Because till you take care of yourself and you make yourself happy, you can't take care of anyone else or make anyone else happy. That's been the hardest thing for me as a parent, is I always want to put my son first, but if I'm tired or I'm not taking care of myself, I don't feel well, I can't take care of him adequately. So I have to take care of myself so I can take care of him. I mean, I know that life gets busy, trust me, I know, hence the stress levels, and we don't always feel like we have time to do what we want to do or achieve what we want to achieve. But the problem isn't really that we don't have the time, it's that we're not making the time. Because we'd rather do what we feel is more important at that time, or we feel like we're too tired. And so instead of focusing on our goals, we focus on less important things. Like we catch up on a TV show, or we go out and hang out with our friends, when what we really want to be doing is working towards our goals. Like for me, I realize that I have a busy life. I have appointments and a child to take care of and other obligations all the time. So what I did was I started getting myself on a regular sleeping schedule, so that way, even though he goes to sleep before I do, I'm up before him, and I can take an hour a day or 2 sometimes to do what I want to do, to work towards my goals. And that's what I do during that time. Or at night, right whenever he goes to sleep and I have that hour before I'm supposed to go to bed, I work on whatever I want to do, or my goals and things like that. So that way I have the time. You just have to make the time. You're not stuck unless you choose to be. You just need to find a solution and work towards that solution. Whatever you feel is holding you back, find a way to fix it. If you need counseling, go to counseling. If you need support in your life, find a support group. Whatever is holding you back, find a way to get rid of it and get out of the box, because you're only stuck if you choose to be. Nothing is too hard if you really want it. Change is hard, yes. Changing is hard. Getting out of what you've always done, the you that you're used to, is hard. I get that. It takes work. But in the end, it's worth it. But things being hard is not an excuse. It's just a reality of life. Life is hard. That's just how it is. You should have learned that when you were really young. Life is hard, and it's not always fair. If achieving your dreams was easy, then nobody would get to the end of their life with regret. Nobody would be like, oh, well, this sucks. You know? If achieving your dreams was easy, then everybody would be fulfilled. But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. Because being hard is what makes you feel like it was worth it when you get to the end, because the reward feels so much better. You feel so much better about yourself because you lived through the hard thing. You made it through. And that's just a great accomplishment of itself. Trials in life are tough, but you can survive. You've survived this far, and you'll keep surviving. No matter what life throws at you, you are strong enough to take it. You just got to take it a moment at a time, take a deep breath, and remind yourself who you are and who you want to be and what you're working towards. Remind yourself of the why, because you have to have a why or you won't achieve the thing. There has to be a reason that you're going for it. Just keep your mind on that and you will survive whatever this life throws at you, and it will make you stronger. You will not break. You got this. Alright, guys. Go out and spread the love, okay?